story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
That's right. It's Dragnet. Dragnet reruns. For you youngsters, Dragnet was a program from the 60s and a movie. How about we get Drew Brees involved? Much better. Thank you, Mr. Drew Brees. No one wants to watch Dragnet reruns, and if you want to, there's a thing called YouTube, which, wow, as a matter of fact, you can check out this very program live, audio, video. Watch us on YouTube TV. Watch us on YouTube. Go to that search bar, put in The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. Kaboom goes the dynamite. There we are. Click to subscribe to our YouTube channel. It doesn't cost a thing. We rock and roll, bro. Every weekday afternoon from 4 to 6 o'clock. Doing it from the Crescent City. The Big Easy Cher and Sonny Bono. That's how we do it in the Big Easy Cher. I'm Dennis Quaid. Anyway, we go 4 to 6 o'clock every weekday afternoon on the radio. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. Oh, so fine, 93.9 FM. You can check us out on New Orleans' own 107.9 FM. CoreyTalks.com. That's our website. CoreyJohnson.com will get you there if that works easier for you. You don't even have to spell my name correctly. Corey Johnson.com will get you there. But Corey is spelled Kaare. CoreyJohnson.com. CoreyTalks.com. Live streaming. CoreyTalks.com. Yeah, just a lot of ways to get there. The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson on YouTube. We're on television. The first 90 minutes of the 2-hour talk radio program on TV. Cox Channel 4 television statewide. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, Lafayette. We're all over the capital city, Cajun country, and beyond. Wherever Cox Television is in Louisiana, and it happens to be the number one television provider in the state, we're there. Cox Channel 4, weekdays at 4. That's your view, Louisiana, Cox viewers. We're kind of in between Channel 4 TV, WWL TV, and Channel 6, WDSU TV on your Cox dial. Cox Channel 4, weekdays at 4. Charter, a.k.a. Spectrum Channel 333. Spectrum Channel 333 from 4 to 5:30 statewide. Wherever Charter Spectrum TV is, I'm there at 4 o'clock on Channel 333, like Slidell, like Covington, Mandeville, Cheyenne Country, Woodhouse Day Spa, new location, Hammond, Houma, Thibodaux, Opelousas, all over the state. Thanks for checking us out. Spread the word. Lots of ways to do it. Boy, we have a full slate. Joe Raspanti's going to join us in a few minutes because we need some, legal advice, some legal expertise, putting stuff in layman's terms so we can easily understand it. Gordon Russell, NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune. Federal investigation into Mayor LaToya Cantrell appears to intensify. We'll talk to Joe Raspanti about that and more. The Linda Frickey trial, 4 defendants to stand trial today. 3 of the 4 plead guilty to a lesser charge. Judge Kimya Holmes sentences Brenya Baker, 17, Lanira Tofiel, 16, and Marquel Curtis, 16, to 20 years in jail. 18-year-old John Honore, his trial proceeded today. Second-degree murder of Linda Frickey. The other three, two 16-year-olds and a 17-year-old, plead guilty to a lesser charge, attempted manslaughter instead of second-degree murder. They get 20 years. 18-year-old John Honore is going to be found guilty, and it's going to be for a lot more than 20 years when sentencing rolls around. Joe Raspanti will join us to break that down as well. Brett Martel in the 5 o'clock power hour, another Martel Monday. Speaking of Monday Night Football, LSU Lady Tiger hoops tonight. Pick your poison. Whatever is on the big screen at a sports bar, it's on the big screen at Katie's in Mid-City. And unlike the sports bar, Katie's has food that you're craving, not like the sports bar where you're trying to find something edible to get through the night. No, that's what makes Katie's a beautiful place. And it is not a sports bar. It's a funky New Orleans place with a lot of New Orleans characters. It's the quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant. A true taste of New Orleans with big portions, which is great because you can order a lot of stuff and everybody can share it. Everybody gets a little taste. It's a Mid-City mainstay. It's Katie's, as New Orleans as it gets. Yeah, all your sports action this fall on the big screens at Katie's. NBA, NFL, college football, Saints, Pels, Tulane, LSU, UNO. Katie's has you covered. Katie's in Mid-City. Monday afternoon, holiday season. Guys, it's right around the corner. Thanksgiving Thursday, a month away from Christmas, that quick. I got 50 big bucks to the city's premier day spa experience, the Woodhouse Day Spa. There are 5 area locations, 2 on the South Shore, 2 on the North Shore, by the Mall of Louisiana in Baton Rouge. Guys, this is simple. You know, don't stress out. What am I going to get her? Is she going to like it? You get her a day of relaxation at the Woodhouse Day Spa. It's exactly what she wants. She's going to love it. Problem solved. You're really smart. You go to one of the 5 area locations, get someone in that foyer front area to help you. A little bag with the rope handles, the tissue paper, you know the drill, all that stuff we're terrible at. Get her some candles, some bath salts, some moisturizer, lotions, stuff she'll love from that lobby area at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And guys, unlike us, we want the big flat screen TV. We're materialistic. They love the thought as much as the gift. My God, he went in the store. He got this gift bag. He picked out all these things. They freak out over that. Go to the Woodhouse Day Spa, fellas. Problem solved for the holidays. I'll get you jump started. I got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates available. How did Boudin come to be? How did Boudin come to be? Who was the inventor of Boudin? Why Boudin? Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. Hey, I had the question, America's largest spirits company, owner of 200 brands. That was a question last week. Local company, that's what some folks say, and it's the Sazerac company. How about the nation's second largest beer wholesaler? That's sort of reportedly how it goes. The nation's second largest beer wholesaler, and they're local. Give me the answer to that. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. No one ever answered Jimmy Carter's daughter went to which local school. Rosalynn Carter passing away. I believe she was 97. I remember this family down the street where I grew up, Lakefront Gentilly out by UNO. The Greens lived right down the block, Mr. and Mrs. Green. And they were like elderly when I was a little boy. They were elderly when I was a little boy. So they were probably born literally in like the late 1800s, maybe early 1900s. And I forget now, I don't know if it was Mr. Green or Mrs. Green. I want to say it was Mrs. Green passed away. And Mr. Green passed away like 2 weeks later, and they were married like 70-something years. Mrs. Green passed away, and a few weeks later, Mr. Green passed away. And I hope Jimmy Carter's comfortable and coherent and is happy and celebrating his wife's life in their 77 years of marriage. But I wouldn't doubt, just with a broken heart, and man, I've lived it out, that he might go sometime soon because he was just holding on to make sure his wife went first, because that's Jimmy Carter. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
River Cities Total Maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NOLAAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com. Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" And he said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day. By river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. It's the holiday season. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Perfect for the holidays. Hey, Dan, listening out there in Baton Rouge, I apologize. You should have gotten your gift card already. I'm going to get on top of that and make sure you get that immediately. Apologies. Now, I got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa trivia questions. You got the answer to any one of them. I've got a $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificate for you. Good at one of the 5 area Woodhouse Day Spa locations. Who was credited? How did Boudin come to be? Why? Why Boudin? The nation's second largest beer wholesaler. It's a local company. Reportedly, they're number 2 in the U.S. Jimmy Carter's daughter, Amy, went to which local university? Rosalynn Carter, passing away at 97. Before the McHenry Trucking Road at the Port of New Orleans, 18-wheelers are entering at Chapatoulas at Felicity to get on that McHenry Trucking Road within the port. Before that, how did trucks enter the Port of New Orleans? Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480, 766-9480. And finally, the Riverbend Carrollton neighborhood wasn't always in Orleans Parish. Might be surprising which parish it used to be in. Might not be so obvious. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480, 766-9480. We're heading to Kennebra, where they land some rather large aircraft. Jose's been hanging on. What up, Jose?
Hello. How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing great.
Happy Thanksgiving. What's on your mind?
Happy Thanksgiving. I would like to see if I can answer the Boudin question.
Yeah. How did Boudin come to be?
I think I have the answer.
All right, a little louder. I barely can hear you, Jose.
I think I have the answer.
Okay, what is it?
French? Is it French?
What is it?
Is it French? French.
Yeah, Jose, I'm having trouble hearing you. Please call me back. Sorry about that. And if you said, is it French? I mean, it has some French heritage, but incorrect. Monday afternoon edition of the program. Reportedly, the feds intensifying their probe into Mayor Cantrell. A judge sentences 3 of the 4 teens in the Linda Frickey murder. Joe Raspanti, New Orleans attorney, joining us again on the program. How you doing, Joe?
I am doing great, Corey. How are you?
Doing great, man. Happy Thanksgiving.
Back at you.
Yeah, you're right. Are you a traditionalist, Joe? You guys are doing turkey, or are you having steak like me?
Oh, no. I'm a traditionalist. We're the host committee. I do a drunken turkey. You know, I used to put on a big old Foster's can, one of them 25 ounces.
Yep.
To fit the cat, but now I've got one of those cast iron Cajun rockets.
Yeah.
And it stands up pretty well.
There you go.
It clears the oven for the other things that my wife does.
Nice.
But we usually have the crowd at our house.
Nice, man. Good for you. I'm such a party crasher. Enjoy that lousy turkey that's just not so good. Because if it was good, Joe, you'd be doing it once a month and they'd be serving turkey at restaurants. I'm on a turkey tear, Joe. I do it every year. I abuse turkey.
You got to brine it. You got to inject it. You got to take care of it.
Yep.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that New York strip on the grill. I'm actually going somewhere with some family and we're going to have steaks. I'll end it with this. You want to know the only thing worse than turkey?
Oh, God. What is it?
Turducken.
Oh, yeah, that makes no sense. Those are 3 different birds with other things in it that cook at different temperatures, at different lengths of time. That's nonsense. Yeah, that's nonsense.
All right. We're 1 for 2, Joe. I'm going to get you off turkey and on another protein before the decade's out.
Let's do it.
Anyway, no, happy Thanksgiving. I'm glad you and your family are doing that. Hey, Joe, boy, I mean, I guess it's going to be a happy Thanksgiving for the mayor. She's kind of in denial. I mean, like 1 week she's hiring a criminal defense attorney, one of the best in the city, Eddie Chastain, and then the next week in France, on a junket. So she'll have a good Thanksgiving, regardless of this bad news. This is, obviously it's been going on for a while, but Gordon Russell, NOLA.com, Times-Picayune has a piece today titled "Federal Investigation into Mayor LaToya Cantrell Appears to Intensify." Joe.
Well, I was up in the U.S. Attorney's office, probably 3 months ago for something else, and I saw Mr. Ginsburg, who's the guy you all are saying is handling it, and I was just having fun with him because we've had many cases, and I said, "Well, man, what's going on with LaToya? What are you what are you doing?" And all I got was a big grin. So I got no inside information,
right?
But like anything else, they are very methodical. He especially is methodical. I know that I can tell you. And whether or not they get some, they got to go up. I know this. They have to go up to Big Justice in Washington, D.C. whenever they're planning on indicting. And I'm not saying that they're going to do that, but whenever they plan on indicting an elected official, they got to get the big okie dokie from the mothership before they do anything. So they don't say it. They say everybody's treated equally. But I would have to think that they really got to have their I's dotted and their T's crossed and their witness list lined up before they pull the trigger on anything. So we'll see.
Let me go backwards before we go forwards. Sort of a side question. Have you ever seen a elected official hire a criminal defense attorney? Reports that the feds are investigating at the least, if not even more, like an acknowledged investigation intensifies. Have you ever seen where it didn't go anywhere, where, wow, that politician didn't, after all, have to hire? I'm wondering, I'm thinking, did John Alario ever hire a criminal defense attorney at one time or another? Or some, maybe the sheriff in St. Bernard, Stevens, or something. I'm just wondering. I don't know. And then nothing happened.
Corey, some of the best defense work I've ever done is on cases people never heard about and that never went anywhere.
There you go.
I was brought in soon enough to diffuse the situation. Maybe it was going to go away anyway, but sometimes maybe not. So, yeah, to answer your question, many people do. I think you're stupid if you don't, because I would certainly advise the target or the subject from ever going there and say, "Hey, fellas, what do you got on me?" But I think it is a very good idea to have someone who knows what they're doing and knows the people involved to be able to say, "What do you got? What are you doing here? What do you want to talk to my person? Possibly we will, but what are we talking about?" So, yes, I would say it is. I know it's fun, and it was fun for the newspaper to say, "Oh, they hired Eddie and all that. She hired it," but she would be foolish not to have retained someone with experience in the building, because they're certainly sniffing. They're certainly sniffing around.
Now, I know you don't know the answer to this definitively, but just generally speaking, with what you just said, is it safe to say Eddie Chastain and like Harry Rosenberg reportedly for Officer Vappy, is it safe to say they're already working on this potential case, or they're waiting for something more to happen? Like we're okay, you've hired me, I'm just on hold waiting for a potential indictment, or are they already working on expecting a potential indictment?
Well, it depends, but it depends on when they were brought in, and you check in and there's nothing happening, or there's very little happening, or we'll get back to you type deal. Well, then they maybe aren't doing too much, but maybe their investigation is very far down the road and they're doing a lot. It depends on too many variables for me to even speculate. It's not very improper to do that, but you don't know. You don't know. But to say that hiring somebody indicates trouble, I'm not going to go there. I'd say it indicates wisdom, maybe.
Yeah, I hear, but that's also an attorney's point of view from you handling these cases. I'm the layman out there, me, the listening audience, viewing audience. We're not hiring criminal defense attorneys. We're not worried about the feds coming after us. We didn't do anything wrong. Now, I have no concern at all I don't know. I guess if you're a drug dealer or prostitute or something, maybe you worry about those things and you have a criminal defense attorney on speed dial. I think 99% of the population isn't worried about that or thinking about that, Joe.
Well, probably, I mean, this is once again, you get me to speculate, but these people, I mean, it appears that the federal government is reaching out to certain individuals. And if the word gets back to you that they're talking to individuals, if somebody was asked, if I heard from different people that the feds are talking to 3 or 4 people that I know about me,
yep,
then that means that they want to know something about me.
Yep.
And if they want to know something about me, that's when I'll go get somebody to hire somebody to go there and say, what are you doing?
No, I'm with you. I'm with you. I would do the exact same thing. And I'd also be you'd be like, God, why? I can see Corey's mood has changed on the air. You'd be like, God, I don't know what I did, but the feds are asking people about me. And I talked to Joe Raspanti and some other folks I trust, and they're like, you better hire a criminal defense attorney, dude.
Well, and in many people with shame, fear, and morals, it's the worst time because it's the unknown that is the most difficult to deal with.
Yep.
I've seen people. A place I used to work, the receptionist said, these guys that were twisting the wind for 2 years, waiting to find out what was going on. They looked horrible. They were out drinking and smoking and doing whatever. And then when they found out, they went away. They went to jail for a couple of years. They came back. They lost weight. They weren't drinking. They looked 10 years younger.
Yeah.
Because they didn't have the stress of the unknown.
No. Yep, of course. Hey, Joe, hang on a second. We're coming right back. More with Joe Raspanti.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom-made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations, New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. In Mid-City.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
A Monday afternoon edition of the program. Corey Johnson with you. New Orleans attorney Joe Raspanti joins us for a few minutes this Thanksgiving week on this Monday. Joe, we were just talking about the federal investigation into Mayor LaToya Cantrell appears to intensify. Reportedly, according to this Times-Picayune article, and Gordon Russell's very legit, over the last couple of months, he writes, FBI agents have approached at least 2 local businesses who contributed to the mayor's campaign accounts. They wanted to know whether the donations led to any favors from the mayor in City Hall.
Well, looking for the quid pro quo is what it's called. You're not supposed to do that. Can't imagine those people, whoever those 2 businessmen are, saying that occurred. But, we don't know, Corey. There could be so much other stuff, and I'm not knocking. I know Gordon Russell very well. I mean, he's a good guy, good reporter. There's so much we may not know about because those are the tip of the iceberg, or maybe there ain't no iceberg.
No, you're right. It's interesting because at least in one case, Gordon writes that the FBI agents had copies of text exchanges between the businessmen and the mayor. And they made references to the text. But the business people say they received no special treatment from Cantrell. But it's interesting, the feds and their interpretation of the text, which may or may not be right. They may have misinterpreted it. There may have been an easy answer. Who knows? But apparently, reportedly, they printed out text exchanges between the mayor and the businessmen and wanted to question the businessmen about these text exchanges. And the businessmen said they didn't receive any special treatment.
Well, anyway. We're not going to know about anything. Mary Beth Romick, Mark's younger sister, she had the job of being the FBI public relations person. Said, MB, that's the greatest job in the world. All you got to say is we neither confirmed nor denied an investigation.
Yeah. No, exactly. I wanted to go to Nick Saban at the beginning of the season after the first press conference. I swear and go, hey, coach, can you just read off each team that you guys play off the schedule? And when he said, wow, I was going to say, because I'm just going to pull out Alabama and put in Auburn. And you're going to say, they got a good defense. We got to be prepared, so I don't have to come every Monday, Right.
That's right. You used to work the beat.
Yeah.
Those questions.
Yep. Same answers every single time. We're just sticking on this one for a second before we move on. The probe is being led by Assistant U.S. Attorney Jordan Ginsburg. Do you know much about this guy? He was the one that went after Karen Carter Peterson.
Absolutely. No, I know Jordan very well. Very good lawyer. Very meticulous guy.
Good.
And like I said, I was giving him a hard time about it. I said, you got to keep moving, man. If you're going to do something, you got to do it.
Yep. No, that's good. You want a competent dude that's a pit bull. Nick Moses, you know this guy?
Yeah, I know Nick. I've had cases with Nick. But Mr. Ginsburg, I would guess, is the lead guy on this.
Yep, that's right. That's what it says. And Nick Moses has been brought in recently to assist. It's a good dynamic duo, Jordan Ginsburg and Nick Moses.
Yeah, no, they're both very competent guys. And if they come out and say we got a case, then I'm going to put my chip on them. I'm going to go to Elijah and put my chip on their square, because they usually don't pull the trigger haphazardly, you know.
Officer Jeffrey Vappy also reportedly being investigated by the feds. I think they're focusing on the relationship with the mayor. And
well, I would say this, Corey, about that. This is the important thing. Vappy has, by just on prima facie, has committed payroll fraud.
Yep.
It's like, to me.
Yep.
And it's straightforward.
Yep.
I mean, unless I'm really missing something. So
Agreed.
The step is, hey, Vappy, we got, you're dead. Okay, would you like to help yourself? And if so, we'd like to ask some questions, and either he's going to go along with that or not. But I will tell you, it seems to me that it's more likely than not that they could make a case against him for payroll fraud based upon the reporting of Lee Zurich and the way those numbers were, the way he was using them. So, you know, that's everything. Nothing's new under the sun. I mean, I remember when I was working with Frank DeSalvo after I left the DA's office with PANA, they were doing policemen that were double dipping when they were making the movie The Big Easy. Remember that movie?
Oh, yeah. I was making fun of it earlier this program, Cher.
Right. Oh, really? Well, yeah, it's Life Imitates Art and all that stuff. They were saying. So this stuff has been happening for a very long time, or so they say. So we'll see what happens. But if I were you, if I were everybody, I'd say, let's see what happens with Vappy and see where that leads. I think that'd be the better. If you're looking to sniff things with your greyhound, start sniffing there first.
Hey, Joe, where are you from?
What do you mean, where am I from? Originally?
Yeah, why don't we speak like Dennis Quaid in The Big Easy? I don't get it. We don't sound like that at all. And we're both from New Orleans. I'm lost. What did we miss it? Did we miss the accent?
He looked like a Cajun with marbles in his mouth.
Jeez and Pete's. It was.
He went in and out with his. That was horrible.
It was the worst ever. It was like, I know it wasn't a Yat. It wasn't a Cajun. It wasn't morphed Yat Cajun. It was the worst bastardization of culture I've ever seen.
One more size was down here said, and they put on a fake Brooklyn accent, which tried to pass for some Southern New Orleans. Hey, lady, you haven't been to Chalmette, have you? Because go down there and take a listen. You'll see what we sound like.
Yeah. No, and I'll tell you what, a Brooklyn accent would have been better for Chalmette than what Dennis Quaid was doing.
Absolutely.
Jeez and Pete, it's pathetic.
Give me Danny DeVito, and he could pass for Chalmation any day.
Oh boy, Joe Raspanti's with us. Hey, Joe, I just reading the Gordon Russell piece. It appears that Tanya Haynes, this image consultant for the mayor, when he's writing, the authorities have continued to elicit information from Tanya Hayes. That almost implies to me like she's a cooperating witness, or they just continue to question her, and maybe she's not a cooperating witness.
Well, you know, you can jump wherever you want to jump to, but that's not a wrong. You know, that wouldn't be off the charts if you say that that's what she is. But Corey, everything's going to be, all the ducks going to be in a row. Everything's going to be in. Everybody who's going to cooperate will have gotten their deals if they're cooperating, and we'll find out about it all at once. But I know it's fun to speculate, but I don't know how long they have. I mean, I do know how long they have. They have 5 years if it's conspiracy or you know, if it's a RICO, whatever it is. It's 5 years from the last overt act of whatever she's supposed to have done. So they still have time, but it'll have a lot less impact if they do it 2 years from now. So we'll see.
Purchases at kitchen stores and high-end boutiques, some BC Kitchen and Bath, the Metairie business.
I don't think they're going to go to D.C. just with that. I think that would be nice as count 7 or count 8.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Count 1. They something's got to be bigger than that for them to go to big justice and say, hey, we want to indict the mayor of New Orleans. So, and I think they know that.
This is kind of where it doesn't, I don't think it taints anything, at all. But I don't know, Joe. I'm not going to bring up the name, but there's like a local business owner who's, does pretty well. He's kind of known in New Orleans, and he gets on social media and puts political stuff out there. It doesn't matter if it's pro or anti-Biden or pro or anti-Trump. It's like you're kind of alienating people. And I guess Joe Canizaro's daughter, that Rodrigue can do whatever she wants. But I'd never heard of her until recently and just kind of political ranting. But she represents Balance, the clothing store. And I don't know, that just seems like, I'm sure she's a competent attorney. That's why they hired her. But her political leanings and that they're so publicly known, I don't know, that just seems to give fuel to the other side. But I don't know. I guess just do your job and don't have all these political opinions publicly if you're going to be an attorney or a business owner. I don't know. That's just my take. I do a talk radio program. I've got to have them. I ran a paint store or a restaurant. I'm not going to get into politics. Anyway, is that any kind of conflict or a problem or no? You still there, Joe? I think we lost Joe Raspanti. We'll try to pick him back up in a second. I don't think it means anything. And like I said, I'm sure Canizaro Rodriguez is a competent attorney, but she is a critic of Cantrell. She gets on social media all the time, that type of stuff. So she has a political presence out there, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with the business owner doing it, except it can be perceived. You might lose half your business, the people that don't agree with you. I'm at Jazz Fest one time, and Carlos Santana gets up there and starts, George Bush was president, just starts ripping Bush. Wasn't like I was a big fan or foe of Bush, but I'm just like, man, I don't know what the percentage of this audience is that's conservative or Republican, but they can't be liking this, political rant. Anyway, stick to it. We lost you there for a second, Joe. Is there any problem with Canizaro Rodriguez, sort of a vocal critic of Cantrell, overtly political? People know her reputation politically.
Well, Corey, she's a lawyer. She has a right to represent whoever she represents. She's not an elected official.
That's right.
She's playing by the rules.
She can do whatever she wants.
She can do what she wants. I'm sorry for being disconnected. I'm out in the woods. So,
no, that's okay. Any final thoughts?
Rabbit run by just now.
That's nice. Hey, man, I know you're doing your Thanksgiving right with family. Any final thoughts, Joe, before we let you go?
Well, for all this stuff, it's interesting and it's fun. I'm gonna listen. I'm no big fan of a lot of things that the mayor did, but a lot of people get looked at and nothing happens. So I would counsel, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. And it takes time, and I know the people who are doing it, and they're famous for taking their time. So when and if it happens, I have a feeling it'll be a good case made.
Hey, do you want to stick around for a couple more minutes, talk about the Frickey trial, or you want to go chase some rabbits?
Sure.
Awesome. Thanks. I appreciate the extended time, Joe. I really do. Joe Raspanti's with us. Yeah, we'll come back. The Linda Frickey trial started today, but with a caveat. Don't move, New Orleans.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets has daily lunch specials Monday through Friday, and their entire lunch menu is available too. Open 11 a.m. through 2:30 p.m. For the finest in Sicilian and Italian cuisine, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
Being a part of people's lives from an engagement ring to a wedding band. Before you know it, the wedding day is here and groom and bride are exchanging gifts on that day. And not too long after that, there's baby gifts to have. And I just enjoy being part of other people's family saying, Mr. Friend did my engagement ring and he did my mom and dad's engagement ring. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Joe Raspanti sticking around an extra segment. We need it. Joe, today the Linda Frickey trial started. Before it started, 3 of the 4 defendants pleading guilty to a reduced charge of attempted manslaughter instead of second-degree murder. Those 3 defendants, 2 were 16, 1 was 17. The 18-year-old John Honore, who I think was sort of the, ringleader, the one driving the vehicle, who threw Linda Frickey out. His trial proceeded today. Second-degree murder. 20 years in jail for the other trio. Just your thoughts in general on this. This is how this kind of stuff goes down. It's best that it's separated, the 3 from the 1. The 20 years is fair. It's not fair. Kimya Holmes did a good job. Didn't have much influence on it to begin with. It's what the prosecution wanted. Fill us in on your thoughts.
I do have a few thoughts. One, I thought the Supreme Court I didn't agree with them saying you have to try this case in 2023 because it just gave the defendants, I thought, a built-in appealable error. Say, hey, when we lose, we told you we were going to lose because we didn't have enough time. And that still may be what this last defendant may pull if he does lose, which I thought there was a great chance he was going to lose before. And now I'm sure part of the plea deal was you 3 that are getting the deal have to come in and testify against the last man standing.
Hey, real quick before we get into that, the time part, wouldn't the argument of the prosecution be it was supposed to start this year? It was only Kimya Holmes with her nonsense and schedule conflicts, and I got to go to training for the school and all this, that another judge said, no, you're going to do that this year.
I say this. I don't know anything about that. I think she's trying to do as good a job as she can. Really, I do feel that way. Because let me tell you, with murder trials, this thing, I listen, I have nothing but, sympathy for the family, and I get it. And I don't blame anything they say. But believe me when I'm telling you, on the compendium of murder trials, this one's going fast. This one's going fast. And there were 4 defendants, and Bernadette won. So it's going to shorten the trial up. It's going to shorten up from picking the jury to putting all the evidence. I mean, the prosecutor's going to have about the same thing, but it should speed things along. I mean, this guy's dead in the water. I mean, my mother could prosecute this case, and but they came in, they got the deal. You asked me about what I thought of the deal. It's an attempt manslaughter. Manslaughter is 0 to 40. Whenever you put the word attempt in front of any crime, it cuts the maximum. It cuts the maximum in half. So the most they could have gotten was 20, and she gave them 20. I have a feeling they probably knew that before they pled it out.
Yep.
And that is what it is. And they're going to have to do. It's a crime of violence, so they're going to have to do 14, 15 years of it. Something good. And so good for them. I mean, I saw what they did. Shame on them. I'm sorry to sound like I'm a third grade teacher, but shame on them. I have no problem with them doing 20 years. I have no problem with them doing more than 20 years. Sometimes you got to give a little bit to get a case moving. And I'm not going to fault the DA's office at all for, getting that plea, because I think it's an argument can clearly be made. Hey, when I got in the back of the car, I thought, we weren't planning on killing this woman. We didn't have the requisite mens rea. So I think justice is being done. None of this stuff's perfect. Making the sausage is a little messy, but the guy who's on trial, from what I understand, is the one who should be standing trial for murder.
Right. Hey, Curtis, the 16-year-old Tofield, the 16-year-old Baker, the 17-year-old that have pled guilty to reduced charge of attempted manslaughter have been sentenced by Kimya Holmes to 20 years. Is it over for them fully? And what I'm asking, if John Honore gets found guilty and then says, hey, I didn't have enough time to prepare and appeals, and is successful with the appeal, does that the other 3 can appeal their guilty plea, or it's over for them?
No, it's over for them.
Gotcha.
They pled. That's the deal.
Gotcha.
Because when you stand up there and plead in your boykin, is what it's called, your boykinization, you waive your right to appeal. You stand up there and say, yes, Judge, I understand that I have a right to counsel. I understand the right to confront my accusers and to take it on appeal, and I waive all of those rights consciously.
What's
it's done.
The maximum, I'm guessing, is life, death penalty. What's the minimum for second-degree murder in Louisiana?
Big life, baby.
It's life no matter what.
Life.
So you're convicted of second-degree murder. The minimum's life.
Life. That's
wow.
Right. Life is life.
Yeah, no, gotcha. Didn't know what the minimum was. Didn't know if it was 40 years, 50 years. Gotcha.
Well, no. Now, he's 18, so that sometimes when you have juveniles that are tried as adults, I think it's after, she's quizzing me on these things, I think it's after 30 years you can ask for parole, but I don't think that would apply to him because I think he was 18 at the time.
Gotcha.
So life is life.
Any final thoughts? Any final thoughts on either of these topics we've been discussing?
Well, for the family, I'm going to tell them I'm glad it's going to be over. He's going to be convicted soon. Be glad that they didn't do first-degree murder, because you would have been back on appeals and, we want the death penalty for closure. That's the last thing you get when you get a death penalty. So, I'm glad. I think it's going to be over for them fairly quickly, and do their best to put it behind them, because I think this kid's going to be convicted very quickly.
Joe Raspanti, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for the time. Happy Thanksgiving.
All right, Corey, back at you, baby.
Yeah, you're right. That's Joe Raspanti, New Orleans attorney. Hey, you folks in New Orleans, Helm Paint and Decorating, 7 locations, free 2-hour delivery. New Orleans Paint Stores, Helm Paint and Decorating. Hey, Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating, 4 locations, free 2-hour delivery. Baton Rouge's paint store. That's right, Blue Boy. When you got to paint in Metro New Orleans, when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, Helm Paint and Decorating, now in the capital city. Coming right back.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson On TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube. On radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers Breitling time, 5 p.m.
Ford F-150, number one seller in America. What about in the USA? Let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all the time.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family-owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Susan Spicer joining us on the program.
Even when they presented me the award, the people that I look up to the most, Frank was there and Donald Link was there. It does cause you to reflect back and think about your whole career.
Maybe the Ella Brennan Award says that to you, like I've arrived.
It certainly is kind of the ultimate honor when it comes to cooking and hospitality in New Orleans and the world.
New Orleans style talk gumbo, served daily.
Doesn't get much better than that, huh?
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latram.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
For us, it's really relationships. And if you care about the relationship, you're going to do the right thing for the customer all the time. When we're in design process of a custom made piece, I have a test that says, if I wouldn't give this to my wife, I think we should pass and start over. If it's not perfect, it's going back to the shop. We're going to start all the way over. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
From Hollywood, almost live, it's The Gong Show.
I'm Chuck Barris.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, here's your host and the star of our show, the ever so tantalizing Mr. Chuck Barris.
All right. It is not The Gong Show. Some may think it's similar. I'm not the unknown comic. I'm not Chuck Barris. Corey Johnson with you. Thank you for the intro, Mr. Drew Brees. You are, in fact, on the neutral ground. And it's the 5 o'clock power hour on a Monday afternoon, Thanksgiving week. This Thursday's Turkey Day, the appropriately named bird. It's a turkey. I'm having steak on Thanksgiving. Yummy. Roll your eyes all you want to, but if your turkey was sitting next to my steak, you wouldn't be eating your turkey, you'd be eating my steak. Turkey, appropriately named. The only thing worse than turkey? Turducken. The first 4 letters say it all. Turducken. Hey, it is a Monday afternoon. It is holiday season. Thanksgiving, Turkey Day on Thursday. In a month, it'll be Christmas. Holiday season, guys. Real natural diamonds, Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. I heard an ad the other day. One of these local or national jewelry chain stores, Diamond Jewelers. And they're literally saying like, real natural diamond, 2 carat, X amount of dollars, man-made, 3-week-old lab-created diamond, like half the price. Like half the price. It's just ridiculous. This is one of the most important purchases you will make. It's like, seriously, house, car, diamond jewelry for your significant other. I mean, you can put that up there with like the boat or, I'm serious. You're going to spend hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. It is a diamond, a forever purchase. You want it to be real diamonds, natural diamonds. Guys, don't get fooled by a lower price. Looks the same. She'll never know the difference. Is that what you're going to tell yourself? You're going to lie to yourself and lie to her, the most important person in your life? A year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years, 30, 40, 50 years from now, trust me on this. You don't want to sit there and look at her and smile at the diamond stud earring she's wearing or the diamond tennis bracelet and her thanking you for it. And you're sitting there knowing it's 3-week-old, man-made, lab-created diamonds that have plummeted in value over the years, over the decades. And you basically gave her something that wasn't the real deal, the real McCoy, the legitimate item. You went for the fake instead. Guys, don't make that mistake. Ken Friend is ready to help you. You do have a friend in the jewelry business. Every price point at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. You can go in and let one of the friendly staff help you anytime. You can set up an appointment with Ken during business hours. You can visit with Ken at Friend & Company Fine Jewelers before they open or after they close, one-on-one with Ken if you don't like crowds or other people around. You want that personal attention. Real diamonds, natural diamonds, 1 billion years old, diamond stud earrings, tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, engagement rings. And when I mention every price point, thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers has real diamond jewelry over $100,000. And Ken Friend also has an entire room with real natural diamonds, guys. Diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, even diamond engagement rings. Everything in that room under $1,000. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, real natural diamonds. Don't make the mistake. I mean, right there, when the commercial's saying real diamond price, the man-made diamond price, run from that place. Run from that place. They're pushing the man-made, made in China, lab-created, 3-week-old garbage. Don't make the mistake. My God, especially with her. Go see Ken Friend, Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. You'll be glad you did. I promise you. It is holiday season. Boy, that sounds like some rain out there, huh, Jason? A little rain coming down out there. It is holiday season. It is Thanksgiving week. Got some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates to give away. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate in the program, 766-9480. 766-9480. You got answers to any of these questions I'm about to throw out there? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse Day Spa. Guys, that solves your problems. Real diamonds from Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, and a day of relaxation for her at the Woodhouse Day Spa. You can't go wrong. How did Boudin come to be? Who invented Boudin? Reportedly about 75 years ago. And why did it come to be? The nation's second largest beer wholesaler reportedly is right here in New Orleans. The nation's second largest beer wholesaler. Name it. I got 50 big bucks for you. Good at the Woodhouse Day Spa if you can do it. Jimmy Carter's wife, Rosalynn, passed away at 97 years old. Jimmy Carter's daughter, Amy, went to which local university? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse is yours. 766-9480. 766-9480. The McHenry Trucking Road. 18-wheelers enter the Port of New Orleans to get on that McHenry Trucking Road at Tchoupitoulas at Felicity. Before the McHenry Trucking Road, before that entrance at Felicity and Tchoupitoulas, how did 18-wheelers, how did trucks enter the Port of New Orleans? Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks at the Woodhouse can be yours. Hey, the Riverbend Carrollton neighborhood wasn't originally in Orleans Parish. Name the parish it originally was in. It may not be as obvious as you think. 766-9480. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour, you missed a lot. Joe Raspanti was with us, New Orleans attorney, breaking down a couple of legal issues in layman's terms for us. Gordon Russell, NOLA.com, the Times-Picayune. Big headline. Federal investigation into Mayor LaToya Cantrell appears to intensify. We talked about that. And also, the Linda Frickey trial was scheduled to start today. Before it got started, 3 of the 4 defendants pled guilty to reduced charges of attempted murder instead of second-degree murder. Brynja Baker, 17. Lanira Tofield, 16. Marquel Curtis, 16. They've pled guilty, 20 years in jail. 18-year-old John Honore, kind of the ringleader, the driver, threw Linda Frickey out the car. His trial proceeded today. Second-degree murder trial. He'll spend the rest of his life in prison if found guilty, and most likely will be found guilty. Joe Raspanti joined us last hour, good 4 o'clock hour, breaking all that down into details as much as we could. An oil leak off Louisiana's coast. Reportedly over 1 million gallons have spilled. So I don't know, just not trying to be cynical or jaded or pessimistic. If they're saying like north of 1 million, it's probably closer to 1.5 million or 2 or north of that, right? I doubt they're nailing the estimate. Man, they said 1 million and it was 1 million gallons. That's just not cool. 19 miles off the coast, south of the Chandelier Islands, east of the Mississippi River. This 67-mile pipeline has been shut down. So far, no luck with submersibles trying to find the leak, running along the length of the pipe. They can't find the leak so far. It's owned by a Houston-based company, Third Coast. 3 skimming vessels are working to recover the oil, at least on the surface. I'm just blown away that this isn't much more prolific across the state. All these old abandoned wells, just for decades, capped, pseudo-capped, old rusted pipes, broken down, beat up. How aren't there more broken pipes, fractures, ruptured pipes, accidental, boats, whatever, barges hitting pipes, wellheads, and just oil spewing out? It's amazing. Now, I know most of these, if they're capped, they're pretty much tapped out. But still, I mean, you have a lot that are active. Even the inactive ones, they still have oil in there, just not enough coming out to justify for these larger companies to maybe go at it. Anyway, Corey Johnson with you. Holy smokes, I'm a little late, huh, Jason? Sorry. Geesh. Jason's like, dude, it's 16 after. Maybe you should try a commercial break since it's only been on the schedule for like a decade now.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Fausto's Italian Bistro on Veterans Boulevard, where the brothers Fausto and Roland are serving some of the city's finest Sicilian and Italian cuisine. From New Orleans' first family of Sicilian and Italian cooking, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
When a young man comes in and they walk into our store, and you can see they're a little intimidated. Last week, I saw the young man. I said, "Hey, what can I do to give you a hand?" He said, "Well, I'm here for an engagement ring, but I don't think I'm in the right place." So I got him to my desk, and within an hour, he had purchased an engagement ring, had spent $1,000, and he was treated like he spent a lot more, and I'm sure we have a customer for life. My name is Ken Friend of Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com. Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
Served in New Orleans' finest restaurants. Leidenheimer French bread.
I know for a fact on Thanksgiving Day, 110% guaranteed, I'll be enjoying some Leidenheimer French bread with my meal. Because where I'm going with family and maybe even a friend, we will be at a place that I have been to before and they definitively serve Leidenheimer French bread. No, lots of fine dining restaurants in New Orleans. Most fine dining restaurants in New Orleans, if they serve French bread, it's Leidenheimer. If you're having a real New Orleans po' boy, it's on Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company has been baking that Leidenheimer French bread right here in the city of New Orleans, still doing it to this very day, baking loaves today. They've been doing it since 1896. 5th generation, family owned and operated, New Orleanians for over 125 years. No, make your Thanksgiving complete. The bread's got to be Leidenheimer French bread. Leidenheimer Baking Company. Thanksgiving week? Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson with you. Hey, Brett Martel from the Associated Press will be with us in about 15 minutes. He's been with the AP for over 25 years. Wow, a lot to talk about. Big story of the day, Gordon Russell with the Times-Picayune, NOLA.com. Federal investigation into Mayor LaToya Cantrell appears to intensify. Talking about the last few months, talking to a few businesses that were donators to the mayor's campaign. Did they get any kind of special treatment from the mayor because of those campaign donations? Both businesses apparently said no, but the feds went and spoke to these businesses because of some text message transactions between the mayor and these businesses. So it led the feds to believe something wasn't quite right. A kitchen store, a high-end boutique, an image consultant being paid nearly $300,000 out of the mayor's campaign fund from the last few years. Was some of it coming back? You remember Grayland Banks, who's the brother of the old city councilman, Jay Banks. They have this Grayland J. Banks, quote, consulting company. We do nothing and get a check. You know, just these political consultants, these jokers. They were one of like 2 or 3 companies taking money from Karen Carter Peterson, either from her campaign fund or from the Louisiana Democratic Party, apparently giving nothing in value back, taking a cut apparently, and then giving the cash back to Karen Carter Peterson. That's what she pled guilty to. Those are the folks involved. So I think you've got probably, or potentially, I should say, a similar situation where possibly the image consultant was paid $300,000 of campaign money over the last few years, and some of that money went right back to LaToya Cantrell in the form of cash or gifts or something. Who knows? It's not really looking, good for the mayor. And when you think how the mayor acts, just the pettiness with like the junkets and then upgrading to first class flights and no shame and no honor, and the Pontalba apartment instead of renting a place because she could or thought she could get away with it, the freebie, just sort of, that sort of cheap, tight, petty type of attitude. It was like C. Ray Nagin when he was mayor, like trying to just get away with as many freebies as possible. Money makes people funny, and that can easily lead to other temptation. These outsiders, these other politicians, contributors, business people trying to get a leg up, they see the vulnerability. They see a political person that can easily be swayed to the dark side, as it were. They see someone who's vulnerable. They see someone where ethics, integrity, morals are questionable. That person can be had. They're not dealing with someone they're like, boy, better not mess with this person. You know exactly what you get. High integrity, honor, pride. They're not going to do something unethical, immoral, break the law. But Mayor LaToya Cantrell, with the petty attitude, the junkets, it reeks of approach me. I'm approachable and I'm bendable. I'm flexible. Ethics, morals, integrity don't really matter. And maybe, let's talk about it, maybe the law doesn't matter. How can I enrich myself? So no, it's the mayor hiring Eddie Chastain a few weeks ago, month or two ago, one of the best criminal defense attorneys in the city. I mean, Vappy may have won up the mayor. Officer Vappy hired Harry Rosenberg. I mean, that's who I'd hire. That's who I'd hire. Harry is insanely smart, knows the law as well as anyone in the world. I mean, literally. And like 1% of 1% smart, understands how the law works, the ins and outs of it all, was a former U.S. attorney. That's who I'd hire. I'd hire the guy Vappy hired. That's Harry Rosenberg's as legitimate as it gets. Whatever reality is, he's going to, in a negative way for you as a criminal, he's going to reduce it as much as humanly possible. And if you're not a criminal, he's going to get you off. He's going to show that to the judge and jury. Expose an overreach or whatever. The Frickey trial was set for the four defendants today. 3 of the 4 pleading guilty to a lesser charge instead of second-degree murder, attempted manslaughter, all received a 20-year jail sentence, which is the maximum, according to Joe Raspanti. Manslaughter's 40 years. Joe said when attempted's in front of it, you half that 40 years to 20. Judge Kimya Holmes sentenced Brynja Baker, 17, and 2 16-year-olds, Lanira Tofiel and Marquez Curtis, to 20 years. 18-year-old John Honore, the ringleader, the driver, the person that ripped Linda Frickey out the vehicle and proceeded to drive off while she was still hooked to the seatbelt and dragged her to death. His trial proceeded today, second-degree murder trial. If found guilty, he'll go to jail for the rest of his life. Mandatory life sentence. An oil leak off the Louisiana coast, uncool, not right. Over 1 million gallons have spilled so far, reportedly, like what the feds, the Coast Guard saying. I'm not saying, boy, the Coast Guard's not going to tell it like it is. But also, I would say that's minimum. And I wouldn't be surprised if it's more. It's 19 miles off the Louisiana coast, south of the Chandelier Islands, east of the Mississippi River. It's a 67-mile pipeline they had to shut down. And so far, with these submersibles that are going up and down the pipe, they can't find where the leak is. It's owned by a Houston-based company, Third Coast. There are 3 skimming vessels working to recover surface oil. No, I'm shocked that we don't have a much worse problem than this. It seems like just so many capped wells and no one checking them, and leave it up to the inmates to run the asylum. Poor regulations that aren't, followed. Folks aren't checking. It seems like there should be so many more leaks and all that. But you talk to hunters and fishermen out there, they see oil sheens on the water in South Louisiana on our coast all the time. Leaky wellhead, whatever. It's a nightmare. It's a nightmare. We got to do a lot better than this. Sad. And, you know, like oil and gas companies are responsible. Hell yeah, they're responsible, no doubt. I think the lawsuits are legitimate. There shouldn't even be lawsuits. The state and these oil and gas companies should be able to settle this. And it's in the best interest of the oil and gas companies to, want to fix Louisiana's coast. It's just going to court. If I were the oil and gas companies, I mean, your defense could almost be, yes, we signed all those papers. And yes, we agreed to do all this. But no one in Louisiana pushed for us to do it. No one seemed concerned how many canals we dredged or dug and if we broke the rules or not. No one seemed to care. It was just sort of a drill, baby, drill mentality. So year in, year out, decade in, decade out, repeatedly breaking all these rules with no repercussions from the state, no one from the state ever coming down on us. We just assumed that was the spirit of the rules. I see the rules in black and white on paper that we signed off and we agreed to. Louisiana never, ever enforced them. We blatantly broke them in front of Louisiana. They did nothing about it. So the spirit of the rules, we figured it shifted. That seems to me to be one hell of a defense. And Louisiana going, hey, it wasn't here's the contract. We know for years, decades even, half a century, we didn't enforce what you were supposed to do. We never held you accountable. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't be held accountable. I mean, Louisiana screwed up a lot too. That would be my defense if I were the oil and gas companies. No, there should be an agreement, working together, a true partnership. My God, come on. Corey Johnson with you on a Monday, plus the green thing, fixing the state. I mean, BP, Shell, Chevron, all of them could just sit there and brag about that, bringing back marshes and wildlife and all that. That you can sell more gas. Not going to be a negative. People aren't going to look at it in a bad light. Hey, River City's total maintenance, you can look upon them in a good light. And you don't even have to worry about any of the stuff I'm saying. You can just be rest assured, like, man, I feel good because Corey told me they're honest. He stands by them. They've been helping Corey out for 20 plus years. Corey said they're air conditioning and heating experts. They diagnose it right away. They're not fooling around. They know what they're doing. And they come immediately because they know you're stressed out, that you need help. So they're there yesterday. They fix it this afternoon, tonight. Yeah, if you ever need air conditioning and heat help, you can just rest assured knowing all those things and just focus in on what you really need. How do I get in touch with River City's Total Maintenance? How do I get in touch with those AC and heating experts that are fair and honest, that come when I need them? It's easy. NOLAAC.com is all you need to remember. The pros at River City's Total Maintenance are there. Fair and honest Lucas and the boys, fixing your air conditioning or heat right now. All you need to know is NOLAAC.com. If you ever need air conditioning or heat help, NOLAAC.com. NOLAAC.com. Hey, it's holiday season. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers, guys, on Maple Street. Real natural diamonds. I heard a commercial today or yesterday on the radio. Our natural diamonds are this much. The man-made diamonds are this much. Half the price. You want to know why? Because they're fake. They're man-made. They're 3 weeks old. They're nothing special. They're mass-produced. China's flooding the market. You want that for your significant other, your wife, girlfriend? Guys, real natural diamonds. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street. Go see Ken Friend. They have things... real natural diamonds, different items. It could be a diamond necklace, tennis bracelet, stud earrings from hundreds of dollars to thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on up. So yeah, a room dedicated to diamond stud earrings, diamond tennis bracelets, diamond necklaces, even real diamond engagement rings, real natural diamonds. Everything in the room under $1,000. Friend and Company Fine Jewelers on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. Go see Ken Friend. You folks out in Metairie, it's like you're going to Brightson's or Lebanon's Cafe. If you get to Causeway and River Road, you're 5 minutes from Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. GPS it right there in the Carrollton neighborhood on Maple Street in between Broadway and Carrollton. You old Metairie, old Jefferson Parish folks, if you're at Causeway and River Road, you're 5 minutes to Friend and Company Fine Jewelers. Now, that's a no-brainer. Hey, also a no-brainer, the Woodhouse Day Spa, guys. It's another good idea. A day of relaxation for her. It's what she wants. I've even got you jump-started on some $50 Woodhouse Day Spa gift certificates. How did Boudin come to be? Who's supposedly the originator, the inventor of Boudin? Only about 75 years ago or so. Fill me in on who invented it and why, or at least one of them. Rouse's Markets phone lines, 766-9480. You got answers? I got 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. The nation's second largest beer wholesaler, reportedly. The nation's second largest beer wholesaler right here in New Orleans. Give me the answer to that. 50 big bucks for you at the Woodhouse. 766-9480 to participate. Jimmy Carter's wife, Rosalynn, passed away at 97 years old. Jimmy Carter's daughter and Rosalyn's daughter, Amy, attended which local university? 766-9480. Hey, before the McHenry Trucking Road at the Port of New Orleans, where the 18-wheelers enter the port facility, at Felicity at Chapatoulas. How did the 18-wheelers enter the port before then? Kind of crazy. And the Riverbend, Carrollton neighborhood. Which parish was it in before it was in Orleans? It might shock you. It may not be as obvious as you think either. Maybe. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets phone lines to participate. 766-9480. Rouse's Markets, over 60 of them. They've got the Harmel Spiral Ham for Thanksgiving. Get the Harmel Spiral Ham and get a free butterball turkey with that purchase. I'm not kidding you. Buy the Harmel Spiral Ham and you get a free butterball turkey with that purchase. Best quality, best price, best selection. Buy the Harmel Spiral Ham, get a free butterball turkey. Tastes like home. Rouse's Markets, boy, taking care of you. Your Thanksgiving headquarters. It's this Thursday. Rouse's is your Thanksgiving place. Hey, Brett Martel's going to join us from the Associated Press. Another Martel Monday. We'll find out what's going on with Angel Reese. They play tonight. Brett, I believe, is up at the PMAC as we speak. He'll probably be doing the report from the Pete Maravich Assembly Center in a few minutes. Boy, I highly recommend checking out the 4 o'clock hour on YouTube, Anchor, iTunes, Spotify. Joe Raspanti joined us to talk about the Gordon Russell Times-Picayune piece. Federal investigation into Mayor LaToya Cantrell appears to intensify. He also talked about the 3 of 4 defendants at the Frickey trial pleading guilty to attempted manslaughter. They're getting 20 years each. 18-year-old John Honore, the trial proceeds with him, second-degree murder. And the oil leak off the coast of Louisiana, 3 skimming vehicles work and recover the oil. At least 1 million gallons spilled into the Gulf, 19 miles off the coast, south of the Chandeliers, east of the Mississippi River. Not cool. Not good. Hey, Lebanon's Cafe is open till 9:30 tonight. Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Go get some of the finest Middle Eastern food in Metro New Orleans. Shish kebab, lamb chops, all your favorite Middle Eastern sides. They're open daily from 11 a.m. straight through till 9:30. Outdoor dining, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
You're listening to The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson.
Cotton Bowl winning coach Willie Fritz joining us on the program. Have you ever been part of a game that great?
A lot of things happen in the game. You just don't know the script. You got to adapt and improvise. You just got to keep playing hard the whole time, and our guys did an excellent job of that.
How big is yesterday for the overall future of the program?
You got to have the guys that really have a burning desire to get quality education and also be a great football player. You got to have focus.
You always have embraced New Orleans. You've been a great ambassador for the city, for Tulane University.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. My wife and I just love it here in New Orleans. It's everybody, the city's just sensational. We just a dime for a person who came up to me after game. I had tickets in Tulane Stadium. And, I've heard that a ton of times. And then, that's good that we were able to make some people happy.
That's Willie Fritz joining us.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Roll A.
The spirit of New Orleans. It's Corey Johnson on The Neutral Ground.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, it's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof, now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore led us to you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Hey, you fans of Fausto's Italian Bistro, and yeah, I'm a creature of habit, as you know. I was there today for lunch, dining outside. I sat outside at Fausto's, had the red beans and rice, had the panade chicken with the Italian seasonings, the Italian breadcrumbs. Panade, just super thin, crispy, incredible. No, that's my regular Monday. I probably 2-3 times a month. I was there last week getting some veal piccata. Dined outside, fettuccine Alfredo. Fausto's Italian Bistro, they open their doors for dinner. They'll roll till 9 p.m. tonight. Tomorrow for lunch, tomorrow for dinner, Wednesday for lunch, and Wednesday for dinner. Get some Italian before Thursday, Turkey Day. Fausto's will be closed on Thanksgiving Day. Fausto's Italian Bistro will be closed on Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. And Fausto's Italian Bistro will be closed this Saturday even. So you Fausto's Italian Bistro fans, they're open tonight, tomorrow, and Wednesday for lunch and dinner, but closed Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So after this Wednesday dinner at Fausto's, you won't be able to get back there till probably next Monday when you see me getting red beans and rice. Tonight for dinner till 9, Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Some of the city's best Sicilian and Italian can be found at Fausto's Italian Bistro on Vets. Brett Martel has been with the Associated Press, the AP, for over 25 years. He joins us live from the Pete Maravich Assembly Center.
Not quite yet.
Uh-oh, Brett's still in his vehicle. How you doing, Brett?
Good. I'm joining you live from Prairieville.
Ah, Prairieville. We used to go to, what was the strip joint? We'd go to the, they had red beans and rice and beer on Sunday, the Gator Bar, and then we'd go to Southern Comfort Strip Joint after that.
Nice.
Well, exactly. We went to the Gator Bar probably 3 or 4 times. I went to Southern Comfort once, and there was nothing nice about it, Brett. There was nothing nice about it. All right, let's get into some real stuff. Some real girly action. Angel Reese and Kim Mulkey. I'm just going to lay it all out there. Brett, I don't know anything that's going on, okay? I'm not covering it like you. I don't have any inside stuff. I thought the Times-Picayune was kind of funny. They had a headline that said, LSU's Angel Reese speaks out on the reports and rumors surrounding her absence. And it was a tweet that simply said, please don't believe everything you read. That's it. So I don't know, in case I'm missing something, I don't think Angel Reese spoke out on the reports and rumors surrounding her absence. With all of that said, correct me if I'm wrong, but on that, but my opinion on all this, Brett, Angel Reese, maybe NIL money, maybe a little, ego problem, maybe not hustling enough, maybe not playing defense, maybe not having the right mental attitude. I think Kim Mulkey and Angel Reese right now are butting heads. The $3.2 million coach and Angel Reese probably earns $1.5 million in NIL money. They're butting heads. That's what I see. Am I warm? Am I right? Do you agree? Do you know? Do you not know? What are your thoughts, Brett?
Yeah, well, that seems like the likeliest scenario because, look, I mean, LSU, officially they're not talking, and even, based on people I've spoken to, in the athletic department and everything like that, they don't really, nobody even wants to talk on background. I did some reporting where I basically went to people in college sports in general to just try to figure out, well, what could it be? What is it not? And essentially, and just finding out what are all the rules on certain things and then doing some deductive reasoning and ruling things out. And what I essentially have been able to largely rule out is that it's not academic. It's not academic ineligibility, and it's not really compliance. It's most likely something to do with, look, Kim Mulkey has a very strong personality. That she has very definite ideas about how the leaders on her team should conduct themselves. and it's possible that her notion of what Angel Reese should be doing and what Angel Reese wants to do. I'm not saying one person's right or one person's wrong. I'm saying that they may be in conflict, and so they're going to have to work it out.
I don't think it matters if one person's right or one person's wrong. Kim Mulkey's the coach, and I think Angel Reese either assimilates or not, or if what you're saying is a possibility, Kim Mulkey's like, maybe I went too far and I need to rein in or do something better myself. But I would think Kim Mulkey's been doing this a long time, and I'm not trying to point at Angel Reese or saying she's a bad girl or doing anything wrong. I just think, my God, I mean, this is all new, Brett. This Angel Reese takes in more than $100,000 a month right now, $100,000 a month plus. It's just hard to wrap your brain around that. And if you're Angel Reese coming off the plane with the Louis Vuitton bags and it shows you how things have changed in sports. So I'm not pointing the finger. I'm not blaming anyone. I just think it's a interesting dynamic that it for head coaches, a whole nother thing to handle.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like, yes, Kim's a head coach, and she's been a very successful head coach, but it's a paradigm shift, right? Like, and even the coaches will have to adjust to some extent if they want the new generation of athlete who has earning power. They have to figure out how to manage sometimes the ego that can go with the earning power.
Yep.
Right. And the way that those players are pulled in different directions by their marketing agent and endorsers, right?
Yep.
They have to figure out what's the right balance to keeping the player committed to the team while at the same time not infringing upon their rights, and sometimes very real economic pressure to earn as much as they can while they can. And especially, like, think about this, like in women's basketball, maybe Angel Reese isn't going to make more money in the WNBA.
Oh, she's not.
She can, right.
She's
like
not.
An NFL player, you see what I'm saying? It's different.
You make a couple of $100,000. I think the highest paid WNBA players make like $250 a year, the highest paid.
Yeah.
So I mean, she makes $250 in less than a quarter. Seriously, she's made her NBA salary, the highest salary from August, September, and October already this semester.
So think about this: like her agent could basically be telling her, "Well, we've got to strike while the iron's hot. The WNBA salaries aren't that high. All your money comes from endorsements, and you're hot right now, right?" And Kim Mulkey is like, "I don't care what your marketing temperature is. Like, we need you to do X, Y, and Z if we're going to repeat as national champions." That's like a real conflict.
Yep.
Especially because Angel Reese didn't come from a lot of money.
I think your point about compliance and grades. They had some outlet tweeted that, and pretty, Angel Reese is having like grade problems, needs to go to class, things of that nature. And that's where Angel Reese responded, "Don't believe everything you read." So I'm in agreement with you, Brett. I don't think it's grades or going to class or compliance. I think it is strictly, and I say this loosely, like from Kim Mulkey's perspective, a bad attitude, ego, not defending, not buying in, not giving 110%. That's what I'm guessing, Brett.
Yeah. I mean, Kim Mulkey's very game plan oriented and defense first, and if players start freelancing, they normally get pulled by her. She'll recognize it right away and get them off. So, like when Angel took a 3 the other night, I think she got taken out of the game right away at the beginning of the Kent State game, and then she got put back in, but then she was benched for the second half. So something might have been said at halftime, that maybe Kim didn't agree with, or who knows. But yeah, see, here's the thing with academics. It would be very unusual for a player, because the basketball season starts in the middle, not the beginning. It's basketball season, it's not football. It starts in the middle of the first semester. It would be very unusual for a player to play at the beginning of basketball season, but then not be able to play right after that before the first semester ended and the grade point hours have been adjusted. that you could almost rule out academic ineligibility right now. Does that make sense?
Agreed.
Yeah, in January, it could have been like if she had played all the way up through Christmas break and then all of a sudden she wasn't playing, then maybe it's an academic issue. But if she's playing in early November and not playing in late November, it would be highly unusual for it to be an academic issue.
Brett Martell's with us from the Associated Press. Hey, Brett, if LSU wins against A&M and Jayden Daniels has like a, 250 plus passing game and runs for 75 yards, I don't know how you give the Heisman Trophy to anybody else.
So, again, this is what I'm saying. Obviously it's my job to be objective and not be biased. I may have an unconscious bias in favor of Jayden Daniels by virtue of sheer exposure. I cover him. I see him more and closer than I see anybody else. But that being said, he's one of the best things I've ever seen covering LSU football for 2 decades. I mean, he's incredible. He's right up there. He does things that Joe Burrow cannot do. Now, he's not going to go down in history like Joe Burrow leading an undefeated team. And, of course, Joe Burrow won the Heisman. But some of these runs that Jayden has, in addition to the bombs that he's throwing for touchdowns to Brian Thomas, and to Malik Neighbors, right? Some of these runs he has, the 85-yarder, the 51-yarder. I mean, it's some of the most exciting stuff I've seen since either Lamar Jackson or Michael Vick.
Yep.
And it's definitely the most exciting thing I've seen this year. More compelling I find than Michael Penix out at Washington or Bo Nix, who we're all familiar with from his days at Auburn, out at Oregon now. I just think that what Jayden Daniels is doing and what the Heisman Trophy is supposed to be, which is like the most outstanding individual athlete in college football, right? I think that's Jayden Daniels. But that's my opinion. That's kind of based on what I've seen, and I'm not a voter, so we'll see.
Yep. No, agreed, Brett. Tulane, boy, what a great game, huh? Friday, 2:30 in the afternoon at Yeoman. Nationwide television audience on ABC, kind of a standalone game on Friday. What is it, Texas San Antonio? Or no, I'm sorry, what is it? Is it Texas San Antonio, or who are the Road Runners?
Yeah, UTSA, Texas San Antonio.
Yeah, exactly. They're undefeated in conference play. So is Tulane.
Right.
It's sort of like last year. It's a 3-point game at Yeoman. So that to me, that's a pick 'em. Brett, the QB for Texas San Antonio has been putting up Jayden Daniels type numbers lately, throwing the hell out of the ball and running the hell out of the ball. And Tulane's been just getting by. So I think that explains the Tulane by 3 at home line. Like it's a pick 'em on a neutral site,
Yeah, I will say that Tulane's defense was pretty much lights out against Tom Herman on the road at Florida Atlantic. They allowed the 1 touchdown and 2-point conversion, but they were already leading 24-0 at that time, and they had pretty much shut them out for most of the game, and they shut them out for the rest of the game after that. So that was an important performance for Tulane's defense. If any defense is ready for what UTSA is doing, it's going to be theirs. But they're going to need, hopefully, to get healthier at receiver, get some key guys back on the offensive line, and for Michael Pratt to have one of his best games of the year based on how UTSA is playing.
Yep.
And UTSA's quarterback, look, he's a 7-year veteran of college football.
7 years. It's crazy.
It's amazing. Obviously, there's a COVID year, there's red shirts, there's medical, there's everything, right? But there's nothing he hasn't seen, right, after 7 years. Because even when he's redshirting or getting, really just 2 of those years redshirting, right? Because then it's 5 years of eligibility.
Yep.
With the COVID year. But even when he's redshirting, it's like he's still at all the practices and meetings and film sessions. He's going to be ready.
Yep.
So
yep.
It'll be interesting. You got to hope that everybody who's ever had anything to do with Tulane, and maybe even some casual college football fans, will feel compelled to go out and try to
No, show up Friday at 2:30, and then if Tulane takes care of business, SMU takes care of Navy. A week later, it'll be at Yeoman for the championship. Hey, Brett, always a pleasure. Thank you.
Yep, take care, man.
Hey, New Orleans. See you mañana, 4 p.m.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
Hi, it's Ken Friend from Friend & Company Fine Jewelers. You've got a friend in the jewelry business. Come see us over on Maple Street in Uptown.
Friend & Company Fine Jewelers, Breitling time, 6 p.m.